All right, look, we are live. We are live. We are live. We're not gonna be alive that long. I do want to get some things discussed, talk a few things, but gotta spend some time with the wife. The wife wants to go to the grocery store, so definitely like to go on those outings because when the wife goes grocery shopping, you get to see some things that you may want to buy, and we really will get into those things as far as but just having discussions of what we might like in the house to eat. So yeah, so hopefully everything's going good with the audio. Oh yeah, the audio sounds great. We are pretty much on the go, ready to go. I want to go ahead and share this out to the masses, let people know what we're doing over here. And pretty much we're going to talk a little bit of gaming. On I don't know if I'm gonna do this yet, but I think at some point, maybe this week, what I want to do is actually start streaming, maybe on Facebook or Rumble. I don't know. I mean, I'm not too keen on Rumble when it comes to actually putting content on it. I don't know. Maybe I will, but that's just something to think about. I don't know about how I would want to dual stream like here and Rumble or here and Facebook. I don't know, but I know Facebook is kind of like not the thing anymore. But people do go on Rumble. People actually are on X, so I may just dual stream on X instead of Rumble. I don't know. It just depends how things go. We'll just see how that plays out. But nevertheless, I am going to talk a little bit about game downsizing. I want to talk about content creating and a little bit more, but I don't want to be on here too long. I may come back later after I come back from the store and play some games because I do want to actually get back into playing some more Rogue Flight, probably play some Doom 3, just to, just depends on how it all goes. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about game downsizing. So the other day, I talked about actually downsizing some games, moving some games into another location as far as some of my sports titles, because I got a lot of sports titles. And the sports titles basically just take up space. They take up space. And I was pretty much ready to get rid of that stuff as far as finding some place to put them. I'm never going to like get rid of my games, like throw them away or whatever, but I do want to put them somewhere because they're just sitting around and they're not necessarily, being used. So I took about, I would say I took maybe about between 50 and 70. I didn't count them. About 50 or 70 of my sports titles and moved them to the closet that's over here right next to the white bookshelf. I ended up putting it over there. And for the most part, what you see, I want to see if you can see it like right here on this top shelf, right here where I'm pointing at this top shelf, is all my Dreamcast games now. Well, most of my Dreamcast games. It might be all of them, to be honest. All of my Dreamcast games, put those over there. And right behind me where my head is at, I'm gonna move over a little bit. All that from that first shelf on up, on top of the bookshelf is my PS2 games. Now, what do I plan on doing with that? Now, everything over there is 6th generation on up. Xbox, PlayStation 2, GameCube, PS2, all that stuff is over there from that generation on up. Now, the 5th generation on down, I'm going to be putting that stuff over there. And I realize like with the 5th generation is like a bunch of cartridges, and there are some CDs like the Saturn and the PlayStation, but N64, Sega Genesis, all of those are like cartridge based. So I can literally like get like one bookshelf, and I'll probably be able to put everything over there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. So I may just get another bookshelf and just put that over there, which I said I was going to do anyway, and put all my 5th generation stuff over there. And I realized moving all those sports titles are basically, easily for me to just put stuff together as far as compacting things together. And also I did not go through my sports titles for the fifth generation on down. So like the old Madden 98s, Madden 96, all those, and I may not even downsize those because they're cartridge based games. They're all just sitting. So I may do that. But as far as the disc based stuff, they were just sitting there. They was taking up space. So I didn't. I decided like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to, get rid of them. But I moved them and I put all my PS2, Xbox, GameCube, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4. Even the ones I had that was PS4. I basically put them all in the closet. Now there's a few of them that I left out because those are the ones I'm going to play. Obviously, like Madden 08, NCAA 08, NCAA 14, Madden 25, the PS3 version of Madden 25, some NHL 14, some games that I know that were really, really good. So I didn't necessarily decide to, move those or whatever. Anyway, those are the games that I basically moved. And for the most part, I had a great time doing that last night because I was going to go live, but I decided to stay up and rearrange that stuff. And what I did was able to have a pretty cool session, just sitting here, just relaxing and chilling, and that was pretty awesome to do. So that was pretty dope. So I got that out the way, and since we're going to the grocery store, I don't know if we're going to Walmart or if we're going to Costco's or if we're going to, I doubt if we're going to Sam's Club. We're going to Publix, anything like that. I don't know where we're going, but if we do go to Walmart, I'll probably try to pick up a bookshelf or two, or I may just go out and get a bookshelf or two later on today so I can go ahead and finish what I'm doing. This TV that's back here in the corner that you see, that's probably going to end up coming over here as I slide my CRT down a little bit. I may just put that over there, and I'll have my other monitor right here because I do have a monitor right here, which I'm not going to lie to you, I don't really care to use anymore, even though it's a solid monitor. I don't know. I kind of think about just moving that over here. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel about that at the end of the day. I'm going back and forth with that. I don't know. So, I mean, you know how that goes. What's going on, Quayface? How you doing, bro? But moving all this stuff around or pulling some stuff away has really gotten to the point where it's really refreshing to actually see what you have, knowing what's in your inventory. And it kind of gives you a sense of what you don't want to have anymore as far as displayed or games that you may not even want to play anymore. And it's starting to realize, like, okay, if I move some of this stuff, I can have room to actually buy more games, which I don't know if I'm going to actually do that, but I do realize I do have some more room to actually pick up some more games if I want to. So that may be the move. I mean, I'm not 100% certain because I don't know what games I'm actually going to buy if I do, which I did, to be honest with you guys. I'll talk about this in a second. I did buy like 4 more games yesterday, but those games are more catered to my son. You know what I mean? So, but for me, I don't know. I just may find something that I like. And do I plan on expanding the collection? It's a discussion that I may or may not want to have with myself right now, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I was to pick up anything at this point, it'll probably be more PS3, Xbox 360 games, if anything. I just don't know if I'll actually go through the motion of actually picking up like PS4, PS5, maybe PS4, but PS5 or Xbox Series. I may pick up some Xbox One games. So it maybe be anywhere between the PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Xbox 360. It may be around it, but I don't see myself actually picking up any more PS2 games. I don't see myself picking up any more original Xbox games. PlayStation 1, yeah, I don't see myself picking up anything outside of maybe that 7th, 8th generation era of games. But I do it may be some Nintendo Switch 2 games when Nintendo Switch 2 come out. That may be something I may pick up. But as far as downsizing, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of removing a lot of those those titles, like those those sports titles, because I love sports games. Don't get me wrong, I still play them to this day. It's just that I have like every Madden, you know what I'm saying? I have pretty much like every NBA 2K. It's like, do I really need to display those? I have a handful of NHL games, and all of them pretty much, if to be honest, a lot of them pretty much play the same. So you'll be good if you just pick one or two and be good with. Even on the PS3, I got like all of the Maddens from the PS3 era, all of the Maddens from the PS2 era. It's like, do I really need to display every single Madden, every single 2K or every single NBA Live from that era? Like NBA Live 2001 all the way up to 19. Should I need all those on my shelf? I don't think I need all those on the shelf. So that's why I say I'm downsizing that. Now I still have a few of them that I still have. Like I still have NBA Live 15 still posted, NBA Live 19. I think those two are great, but I don't have all the other NBA Lives that like posted up. Maybe NBA Live 06. What's going on, Sweet Jones? How you doing? So this is the thing that I have basically done. But I made, and another reason why I want to get rid of this right here, this TV, I don't want to get rid of it, but move this TV that's in the corner over here. It'll be better for me to have another monitor that's actually pretty efficient. Now, the one I got over here is a 24-inch monitor that's right here to my left, which I'm going to be honest, nowadays, a 24-inch monitor to me just don't cut it anymore. It works well for my wife and what she does at work, but I know she probably want a bigger monitor as well because she works from home. But I think 24-inch monitors are kind of play. I think 27-inch monitors are the way to go. I have two 27-inch monitors right here, and I got a 24-inch. Well, that television right there can be used as a monitor, and it's 32 inches. So I'll use a 32-inch. I'll put that right here. I'll keep it on that mount right there. Just keep it right here, and I'll use that as another monitor. I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. Take this. I may end up taking this, send this to Goodwill, probably send this to a pawn shop or whatever, and whoever wants it, they can rock out with it. And my CRT and my old school games, my older console games, I'm going to push those down a little bit more so I have more room, and I'm going to put another bookshelf over there for my other 5th generation games. So that's basically what I plan on doing with that. So that's going to be the move at the end of the day. With that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next topic. Like I said, I don't want to be on here too long. I probably want to try to be on here probably like an hour. And now I'm planning on coming back later because I want to play some games. Try to make up for the live stream yesterday. The last night I was going to go live, but daylight savings, try to get some sleep, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is content creating. I noticed that in this space of content creating, I understand a lot of people are finding out from what I see on my end when I look on YouTube. I found out a lot of people are realizing that, going solo and finding a few people that actually understand and respect your content. I'm starting to realize that a lot of people are understanding that. That was pretty cool to see that people are starting to realize. This when you get a little bit older, that's how it goes. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna play that game again, Rogue Flight. I'm gonna play that again because I got to go through another story of that. So I plan on playing that later on today once I get back from the store. So if you guys aren't busy, you can come back and check out the live on that, or you can just check out the replay of the stream. I know that's what Sweet Jones does. He usually goes back and watch the replay after I'm done going live. And I appreciate you coming through doing that. But and Quayface, he usually be here to show support during the live. But yeah, the game is great. I highly recommend you go and pick up Rogue Flight. Rogue Flight is an excellent game to pick up. I think it's on Amazon right now for like $30, maybe $25, something like that. Or you can buy it digital on PlayStation. I think last time it was like $19.99 or something like that. But it's a great game. I really enjoy it. But nevertheless, people are starting to realize, like, I could name a few people And it's not like throwing shade at anybody. I mean, people got to realize that this is life. You know, I've seen, and I'll go back. I remember seeing the Sim Standard start in the way they, end up dismantling for all intents and purposes. Like at one point, it was like 8 people a part of the Sim Standard. And as you get older, you have disagreements. People feel like they want to do their own thing, and they start breaking off and doing their own thing. And now I think it's like Smitty, Sim F Ball, and I think Azura's still around. I'm not sure. I know I see Azura a lot doing a lot of things that's outside of gaming. Like he really is like being like a dad now. So like so he like got sons that are actually playing sports and stuff. So I mean that's actually pretty awesome. Maybe one day I'll get somebody else to play some sports. Matter of fact, son, when basketball season come, you want to play some basketball on the basketball court? Yeah, I know you like basketball, so me and mommy gonna try to get you into basketball, okay? So I got somebody who want to play some basketball, but anyway, so I mean that's just how life goes, and at some point you just have to realize that making content on your own is probably like the best way to go. And it's not because you hate somebody or, so you get, I mean, you all have disagreements at times, but there's situations where you're just going to have to do your own thing. And I saw this again. And I've been on the Weapon Wheel podcast a couple times, and I love those guys. BG, Jack has been on this channel. Me and Jack have done a couple. Well, not a couple, but we've done a live stream together. Me and him just talk gaming. Hopefully, I can get him back on one day. And me and him have another talk, like where everything is going with the industry now. And the whole situation with Black Bond, it's like Black Bond has been kicked out of Weapon Wheel, and I'm like, you got to understand, like, and I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with what BG did, but I see where BG's coming from, because BG is just this type of person that he's a headstrong dude. I mean, he really is. I mean, like it or love it or hate it, he's a headstrong guy, and he's going to do what he feels is best for him. And sometimes it may be extremely unpopular, which I think it is, but he's his own man. He wants to do his own thing, and maybe the way he did, he could have done it a little bit different. But this is what you get into when you deal with different personalities. You deal with people who may want to go in different directions. So this is what I learned. Even when I did First and Frame Rates, well, not First and Frame Rates, but First and Frame Rates. Even when I did that, you just have to understand that life moves people in different directions. I don't know BG's personal situation or whatever the case may be, but I understand, like, as you get older, you start looking at things differently. And this is one thing that even with me, when I look at First and Frame Rates, I started to realize that, having my son, I just wasn't going to be able to go live as like I used to. I mean, at the time he was like 2, maybe like 1 or 2 years old at the time, maybe even older than that. But he needed my attention a lot more. And then on top of that, I knew, Bill started to get a little bit disinterested in being on the show, whatever the case may be. And it's just how it is. People just have a situation where they just grow apart, or they just have different things they want to do, or they feel like there's a different direction to go on certain things. And don't get me wrong, I still love DJ and Bills. Those are my dudes. But I started to understand, like, what BG and what Black Bond is going through, what the Sim Standard went through, all those things, they just happen. And it's not just those 3 situations. I've seen it with other content creators, even back in the day, when you even go back to, oh goodness, what is his name? He's a fighting game commentator, Matt McMuscles. A lot of people don't realize Matt McMuscles was a part of a 3-group entity, and they ended up breaking it off like 10, 12 years ago. And it's just been that long. But when you have a group of people that do things, you start to see how things break up. Even with Cinemassacre and Video Game Nerd, him and Mike Matei, they had a break. They had a falling out. So it's like when you make your content, I start to realize at the end of the day, you just have to be doing things on your own, and you only have to get with people who actually, you have to deal with people who are actually respecting your content and not necessarily the person. because this is what happens. Like, you got to understand, all of this is internet. Regardless if you meet somebody in person or whatever the case may be, if you haven't grown up with that person, and even in some cases when you do grow up with people, which that is a totally different story. Even if you met somebody or you grew up with them, at some point you're going to spread apart. You're going to break off. Once you get into that, part of your life where things just start to change, you just start to realize, like, all right, maybe if I want to do this YouTube thing, I'm going to have to do it the way I want to. Because even having, let's say, a YouTube channel where a lot of people are managing the YouTube channel, things could go left when one person feel like the channel should go this way, or I want to put this content here, or I want to put this content there, or I'm not, my input is not this, my input is not that. I mean, that's just the way it is. Or sometimes personalities get too big for the next person. I mean, just like I said, I don't think it was an issue where, personalities necessarily bumped heads in, like in my situation. I don't think personalities bump heads or whatever the case may be. I just think that people just, started to get tired of being around. There was other things people wanted to do. There were disagreements that just really just didn't get resolved. And I don't think the disagreements was big enough where it was like, I don't want to deal with this person anymore. It's just not from my end anyway, because, I could talk to anybody. It just doesn't matter. But if a person just have if any situation, person has an issue, I think they should be able to talk it out. And if they're not able to talk it out, or if they can't talk it out, it's just, I mean, it is what it is. There's no love lost. If any, that goes for anybody that I ever had a falling out with in general, not just on YouTube. Like, look, I'm not the type of person to say I don't want to deal with a person anymore. I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. Leave me alone. I mean, I just don't have the time to hold those grudges. You know what I mean? It's like, look, we can talk it out. We have a disagreement. You may not like how things go, this, that, and third. And it is what it is. And I think this is something where I look at the whole weapon wheel situation, the way that played out. And it's not just a situation with BG because, or BG and Black Bomb, because, I mean, this has happened before. This has happened with him and Hard 8, them having a falling out with that. Blandrew left after what happened. And it was other people who just, just don't rock with people who are as, I don't like to use stubborn, but the people who are headstrong like BG. Like, BG is like a headstrong brother. I look at him and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't rock with the way that he do things, but I just understand how things go. Because to me, it's not like, I just don't find time to like hate or be upset at somebody for the way they are. I mean, it is what it is, just like the whole situation with the Sim Standard, like Ryan Moody, very headstrong person, very headstrong. I mean, I've dealt with him on, not just on the YouTube basis, but I've talked to him personally, and I know how he is. I mean, he's a very headstrong. He's in some cases he's an alpha in the way that he's going to do things the way he wants to. And when you have people who are like that, you're just not going to really coexist dealing with content creating. So when you make your content, you're basically in a situation where you're going to have to do your own thing at the end of the day. You're just going to have to. I mean, all this stuff don't last, And I really realized that, even when I was doing person frame rates with DJ and Bills, it's like, I knew that there were some things there where they wanted to do things different. And I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has their own ideas. Everybody have their own situations, how they want to approach certain things. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's always going to be somewhat of a clash at some point. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be somewhat of a clash on whatever you do and how you do it. At some point, everything is not going to be on a agreeable situation. And unfortunately, a lot of that stuff wasn't necessarily discussed. And, it is what it is, and I realized, like, look, okay, even though, a lot of this stuff wasn't discussed at the same time, I can't read everyone's mind, and I don't expect anybody to read mine. So I'm pretty sure when people have discussions that have a somewhat of a disagreement, or they even have a miscommunication situation, that's just what it is. So at the end of the day, I just feel like, I felt like I should just go in a different direction, especially where this channel comes in, not necessarily First and Frame Rates. I ended up having to do that because the First and Frame Rates, because I was just doing a solo thing and I just, fell into do a different idea. So with that being said, I decided to go in, start talking about the Atlanta Falcons, started talking about Georgia Southern football. And to this day, that's just where it is now. But I also decided, like, look, I wanted to do something gaming wise because I got all this gaming content, all this gaming stuff, and I can't just talk about football all day long. Like right now, even when it comes to sports, I'm just kind of like burnt out of talking about sports, but I enjoy talking about this gaming stuff. I could do this all day long when it comes to this gaming stuff. So it's, at the end of the day, those are still my dudes, man. I mean, I don't have no ill will from them. I don't dislike them. I don't hate them or anything. Hopefully, Black Bond and BG actually still have the same, a type of energy. Don't let this stuff really get to you to the point where it's all, I don't like this person because of this. You just got to realize, like, okay, cool. We don't have, things on the same page. You may not want to continue to do the content. You may not want somebody to be on the on the platform that you're on to do the content with. And that's cool. You just have those falling outs, have agree to disagree and keep moving. But I mean, I just can't see myself like being upset about it. Especially at the same time where I had a situation where I had to, basically take care of my son. I couldn't be live like I used to be at the time. Now he's gotten older. He doesn't have to, he doesn't worry about, needing me as much. He's very independent now. And that's why I just started to say, I'll go live again. I'll start making more content on stuff that I feel like is more catered to what I want to talk about. And I could do this gaming thing all day. I enjoy talking about the gaming, the history of it, where it's going forward, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, and the games I love to pick up. And to be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards this channel more than the other channel because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. Now I've been really burnt out by football and sports in general. This is why I put all my sports games up in the closet. I'm kind of burnt out by it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it doesn't help that our coach for the Falcons, what Raheem Morris did when it come to Kirk Cousins and they lied about his injury, and the way, I don't know if Quayface is still here, the way that game played out when we played against the Commanders, he refused to call timeouts. Well, we could have won that game, but that's a whole nother situation. But I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, those are my dudes, man. Anything, if they need anything, if I could do it, I'll do it. That goes for DJ Bills, any of them. Things just didn't play out the way. I ain't gonna say it didn't play out the way we wanted to. We really didn't have a plan on how far that whole format was going to go when it comes to First and Frame. We just didn't have a plan. We just got together every Tuesday and Thursday and just started talking. You know what I mean? So it wasn't necessarily like a long-term situation, but it got to the point where people wanted to do their own thing, and I felt like I needed to do what was best for me and mine and with my son, and it just the way it is. But if those guys need anything, man, there's no question. I'll do anything I can to help them if needed. There's never be a situation where I don't want to rock with them anymore. It's just that the timing and growing up and doing things different, that's just how it goes. It's just life, But nevertheless, creating content is okay. You way too loud, huh? Creating content is basically a solo thing. As much as everybody want to talk about it, content creating is a solo idea, it's a solo project. At some point, ideas are going to overlap, ideas are going to become conflict, and at that point, you're just going to have a situation where it's just not going to be viable to actually continue to make that content because, I mean, you bump heads all day. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the show because I'm in 30 minutes in, probably going to do another 20, 30 minutes, and we're going to get up out of here. I bought some more games basically I think there was a little bit for me and for my son. He didn't want any of these games. I just thought it was something that he would like. Nevertheless, I finally got this. I guess this is somewhat of a pickup video, right? I guess this is what you want to call it. It doesn't matter. I ended up buying Mario Strikers. I finally got this. That's what he's playing in the background right there, Mario Strikers. And I got this once again, an excellent version of Mario Strikers. I've been wanting this game like forever, but I can never find it outside of eBay. What's that, son?
There's one on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it's one on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
You want that one too?
Yeah. That one has Bowser, but I think this one also does have Bowser. Because there's one
person. Some secret players.
Yeah, there's one person to get in the middle of it.
We'll try to get them, okay? So I ended up buying this for myself, but he ended up playing it. He's been playing it for the last couple of days now. But I've always been wanting this game. But every time I've seen it on eBay, it was like it wasn't a bad price, but I didn't find myself justifying buying it. But I saw it yesterday, which I'm going to get into this discussion in a second. Some of these pawn shops are starting to go up in price in these games too. And that's something I don't think nobody talks about. Everybody talk about these swap meets. Everybody talk about these flea markets. People be talking about these mom and pop shops where you buy games. But the pawn shops are starting to catch on. But I got this for a pretty good price at that pawn shop. So I'm glad I did pick that up. And completing box, phenomenal. I'm glad I got that. Now I'm gonna show all three of these games at one time. And these are the only other three that I'm going to show. I end up getting, that light. End up getting Epic Mickey on the Wii and Epic Mickey 2 on the Wii. I got both of these. Put the light on here. There we go.
Yeah, those are mine.
Yeah. So these are games I bought for my son. And I bought the 3DS version, which more likely this one's going to be for me because as much as I don't too much care for the Switch, the 3DS, oh my God, the 3DS is absolutely awesome. So I bought this version for the 3DS, which is more like a 2D game. And I think these are more 3D. So I ended up buying these, so I'll be playing those as well as the other ones. But I got it for him because he's into the Wii, he's into the Wii U, he's into the Nintendo Switch. That's basically what he's grown up on. But he also like playing older games. I think he has a really good range of what games he like to play. So he'll play a little bit of everything. Like right now he's playing the GameCube. Like later on, he'll probably play like Super Nintendo or something. It just depends. See, I'm seeing it on the screen right here. So those are the type of games that he likes to play, and I'm really like excited to see like what games he'll play next because he always finds something to jump on and have fun with or whatever the case may be. And as far as that goes, my Wii games, I don't know if y'all see them. They're right. Let me see if I can they're right here where my fingers at. Don't move them because I don't want them to fall. But they're right here. Those are my Wii games right there. And I don't got that many. Right next to them is my GameCube games. Another one that's right here. I don't have that many GameCube games either. But maybe I'll start expanding that collection. But outside of the PS3, Xbox 360. But if I do that, I'm gonna get another bookshelf where that TV is. I plan on getting another bookshelf, and I'm gonna get another bookshelf over there. I may get another one of these DVD stands like I got in the middle right. I got 3 of them. I may put a 4th one right there. And yeah, put a 4th one right there and slide that other white one that's right here, slide that down in the corner and put a 4th black one right there. And I think I may do that for that side and then get another bookshelf for over there. and that's where I think I'll probably have a better. It'll look better that way. Also, what I want to do is I saw this futon slash couch. I finally saw one that I like. We'll finally get a couch over here so my son won't be sitting on the floor, or I won't be sitting on the floor when I be playing video games. And that's going to be the move as well. I got a rug that's upstairs. Well, upstairs. I am upstairs. I got a rug that's downstairs that I need to put on this floor, which I'll probably do that later on today. So there's a full, slate of things I want to do in this room. I just need to get to the point where I just need to do it. I just need to do it. At some point I'll feel like getting around to it. Once we get back from the grocery store, I may do it. Then I'm going to jump on to Rogue Flight again. I think Rogue Flight is an excellent game. And I do need to finish Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. I don't know if I'm not going to do that all in the same day, but it just depends. I don't know how things going today. I know this week, it's back on the grind, going to work or whatever the case may be. I know at the beginning of next month, around the 1st of April, I will be taking a few vacation days while I'll be at home. And while I'm taking those vacation days, I'm basically going to have to, do some, daddy duty, take my son to school or whatever the case may be. But I'll still have time to be here. So I don't know if you guys be hanging out throughout the day or whatever. I know I don't. I usually be driving my truck. But I'll probably be online playing some games, doing some things, maybe go live, probably reach a different audience that maybe be home throughout the day. Because I know a lot of us that are on here, they usually be home at night after work. A lot of us are family men. We do things with our wives. We do things for the kids, or we just do things while we're working throughout the day. We come home. We just want to sit back and chill. So maybe I'll reach a different audience by going live throughout the first of that week and just see who's interested in watching what I got to talk about or what I want to play. But at the end of the day, that's just basically what it is. Like, I'm really enjoying this transition from the old place I was at to this place. It kind of reminds me of those times when I was back in in South Carolina with my old house, where I had the bigger space then when I was upstairs. And it's really, really cool. Before I get out of here, I want to talk about another rumor real quick. And this looks like this rumor is getting some legs. And I want to know what y'all think about this before I get out of here, because I said maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'll come back and probably be live again. But I want to know what y'all think about this here. Let's see. Share screen. This right here. What do y'all think about this right here? Gears of War collection set for PS5. I thought this was pretty interesting to see this. Now, I saw this on like this weird website a couple days ago, and I was going to talk about it, but now other websites are talking about it now. So now I decided to say, like, hey, I'm gonna talk about this. Forza Horizon 5 is already on Forza Horizon 5 is already on what you call it. It's coming to PS5. Halo Master Chief Collection, kind of talked about that. That's probably coming to PS5. Now we're looking at Gears of War Collection. They say it's going to be the trilogy 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why they'll put Judgment out. They won't put Judgment on there. We already talked about that. What is this? Okay, it says right here, while the exact games are rumored in the collection unknown is likely to be at least include the first 3, although the spin-off Judgment could be a part of the package too. The way I look at it is, if they're going to do this, bring Judgment along. Put Judgment on there as well. And I think this would be a really dope idea. I like Gears of War. I've played the first 3 recently in my backlog. I actually thought about putting Gears of War Judgment on a live stream, but I don't know if this is true. I will go out and buy these, and I will stream these again. Now, another thing I want to think about, are these getting like updates like 4K upscale or whatever, or if they're going to get a 4K remaster? If they're going to do that now, will they do that for the Xbox? Because that will really suck, right? Because like right now, you can put the 360 version of Gears of War in your Xbox Series, and it is, upscaled to 4K. I think all of them are, to be honest. All three of them and Judgment, I think they're all upscaled to 4K. But that would be really cool if they do it for both. But will they put out another collection out for the Xbox? I don't know. And then you have Gears of War 1, the Ultimate Edition, which that one came out around the same time Gears 5 came out or something like that, which that was like a remaster in itself. So will they put that version on the PS? It's so much. Will they put that version on the PS5? I don't know. But it's pretty interesting. I don't know. But yeah, like Forza Horizon is coming to PS5. I think at some point Halo, the Master Chief Collection, or at least Halo 1 will come to that as well. I just don't know if they're going to do it. But wait a minute, I see it right here. Never mind, let me back up. It says right here, the Gears of War Collection is reportedly going to be announced this summer with the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series release. Now, with that being said, I won't buy this for the PS5. If it's coming off the Xbox Series, I will buy this for the Xbox Series. Because I mean, I just feel like Gears of War is an Xbox game. If it was only coming to PS5, then I'll buy it for PS5. But if it's by the choice, I would buy it for Xbox because I feel like Xbox is a Xbox game. So that's just me. But I'll pick this up. Hopefully, it's a physical release for all three, like the Master Chief Collection was. And I'll stream. These games are really cool to stream. The story was really good. And I think that's something a lot of people don't really think about that much anymore. A lot of people just think about Gears of War is, well, I'll take that back. I think a lot of people do look at it as a pretty good story-driven series. But I think if they're going to do this, they need to put all 4 games on it. 1, 2, 3, and put Judgment. Don't leave Judgment out. Gears of War 4 and 5 is kind of already an Xbox Series game, right? It's pretty much like one, so I don't think this will be a part of the collection. It may be. But if it's going to be announced this summer, so I guess these games will come out in 2026 along with Gears. But that'd be weird. Like, why would they put this out at the same time as Gears of War E-Day coming out? You don't want to cannibalize your games. I think they should put the Gears of War collection out now, or like as soon as possible. Let that marinate for like 6 to 8 months. Then drop Gears of War E-Day right behind it, so it'll still be fresh in people's mind to play the Gears of War game, and then turn right back around and buy E-Day. Like that's how I would do. I wouldn't want to put the Gears of War collection out at the same time as E-Day, unless, let's say, for instance, if they do this, you get E-Day that comes out in 2026, and they'll put it all bundled in as a package if you want the collection as well. I don't know. I would try to get people be interested in it or reintroduced into the Gears of War franchise, and then drop E-Day a half a year or 6, 8, 9 months later. And I think you'll get a brand new fan base of Gears of War. You don't understand. Gears of War been out since what? Oh Lord, how long Gears of War been around? When did Gears of War start? 2006? It's almost a 20-year game. Now, with that being said, now it may make sense to drop that game in 2026. It'll be a 20-year collection, and I think that'll be another reason to push it because it's 20 years since the first one came out. Gears of War 2 came out in 2008. Gears of War 3 came out in 2011. And I think Gears of War Judgment came out in 2013, which that's interesting. That came out in 2013. So, yeah, the Ultimate Edition, the first Gears of War was a remaster of the first game. That came out in 2015. And the Gears of War 4 came out in 2016. Gears 5 came out in 2019. Okay. Yeah, I think that the 20-year thing would be pretty cool. Put it out in 20 years from now, and then you turn around and put EA out a little bit later. I think that'll be a solid look. So I kind of see where they're getting at. I just don't want the game to cannibalize themselves because, I mean, you're looking at four great games in the collection. These games are actually really, really good. I've enjoyed playing them. And I have not played and finished Judgment yet, which I need to go back and play Gears of War Judgment. Well, not go back and play. I need to finish Gears of War Judgment. It's sitting right there on the Xbox Series. So that may be a run that I may do and play that at some point. But yeah, 46 minutes in. I said I was going to be around for that long. That sounds like a plan. I know my wife is probably ready to run to the store. I don't want to hold her up much longer. Thank you, everybody who came through. I would like to stay an hour, but I'll make up for that. I'll come back later on today, play some more Rogue Flight, and we'll see where we go from there. I think Doom 3 is more of a nighttime game, so I'll probably play that at night. I don't know what it'll be tonight, but I'll probably play that at night. I don't know when I'll get back on it, but I know I don't have that much longer to go when it comes to the Evil Resurrection expansion. I don't think it's that long. So we'll be able to knock that out as well. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to rearrange a little bit more stuff in here, get some things more done in here, and then I'll be back live later on. And we'll make up for the time that I said I was going to do here. But I'm going to get up out of here. Okay. We about to get ready to go to the store. Mommy, you be ready to go? He don't care. Well, I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'll see y'all later on today. Hopefully you guys hang around. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.